guys, welcome back to my channel. Look at my scary dirty brushes. It's after Halloween and half my brushes look like they've been attacked or used by some errant preschooler doing an art project. What do we do about that? How do we fix this problem? I'm going to do a little bit of brush care and try to fix these brushes so they don't look so terrible. So what I like to do is I have a couple things here of my Bath & Body antibacterial hand soap. I have some just regular Bath & Body soap. Also, it's super important to keep your brushes clean. If you notice all of a sudden your brushes that you were so soft and fluffy suddenly aren't so soft and fluffy anymore, it might not be your brush is bad, it might just be that it's dirty. I'm gonna insert some scary pictures. I'm sorry. I know these are scary, but the amount of bacteria that builds up in your makeup brush is downright frightening. Alright, so I'm taking this foam, and I'm just taking my brush till it turns all icky colored. Getting all that makeup out of there. Look at that. Look how much is in there. Oh, that's gross, right? Look what happens. Rinse. And it's green again. It has a little bit of staining. And what we can do is we can grab a little more soap, grab the brush again, and just do it again. And see if we can get that color out of there all the way. It isn't always gonna work, but sometimes it will. And this one, oh yeah, it's looking like it's mostly coming out. And it smells good. And it's antibacterial. And a nice clean brush. Look at that. It's all like almost brand new. Now to dry this, I lay mine on their side. You can put them on a paper towel or whatever. The important part is that you do it. Now this is a Wayne Goss brush. This is a beautiful brush. It costs a lot of money. So I'm going to use body wash for this one. This one has some conditioning agents in it. Essentially the process is the same. You just take your dirty brush, you put it on your hand, and you just scrubby, 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 and you get all that color out of there. Now you're not going to want to do this with every brush in your collection all at once, or your fingers or your hand is going to be so exfoliated it's going to hurt. Remember how many colors that had in it? Yep, it's a white brush underneath all that. Look at that. The tips of these ones do stain. I've had these for a while, so that staining on there is, you know, there. Now to really make these brushes just go back to perfect, you can take some aloe when they're a little drier than this, and you can just pull all these little hairs that are sort of sticking up to the side down. Just make sure you have it nice and rinsed, and lay it flat to dry, because you don't want that stuff like this. I don't recommend that. You want to do it like this. So either on your side or upside down, so that your brush is pointing downward and something well ventilated, because you don't want soap and water getting into the furrow there. It'll ruin the glue that's in there and hold your brush together. And when you're paying $35 per brush, trust me, you don't want to ruin it. So yeah, like this. Not to mention, when you do it like this, you get bacteria that get down here. And we're trying to get rid of the bacteria. Bacteria is gross. Unless it's in your stomach. Then bacteria is good. Now I have this great big flat brush that I did a whole lot of green with. I'm going to take my pumpkin again, pumpkin soap, put it on my hand, and just scrub that baby. And look at that. If you notice your brush smells funny at all, I don't care, wash it. Alright, this one did not come clean all the way, because I packed the color on that like crazy. And so we're just gonna keep washing until it's all the way clean. This is not damaging the brush in any way, shape, or form. It's not getting soap deep in there. You don't want to run them through the dishwasher. Whoever came up with that dumb idea, don't do it. It will ruin your brushes. It will melt the glue that's in there. Don't do it. So this one is now clean. It looks like I may have stained these very tippy tip brushes a little bit green. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. And it very well may dry out, so you don't see that anymore. Another brush here, This is an Elizabeth mop brush. We're just gonna follow the same process. The brush wet, we go into the foam, and we go scrubby, 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 scrubby. As long as you're getting all that out of there. And then when you pull it out, look at that. That one came out perfect. White tips and everything. I mean, how amazing is that? It sucks when you have, you know, zillions of makeup brushes and you're like, go to pick them up and they all look like this. Scary stuff. So it can take, ooh, look at that. Look at that red that's in there. Holy cow. Gotta get all that out. And it doesn't take much soap at all. I use the foam because it seems like the foam, like if you just use liquid soap, it's like too much. I only use the liquid soap on my Wayne Goss brushes because it's a little more gentle than this is. You could use this, I suppose. I don't really like spray brush cleaner. It doesn't really do a good job that I've seen. Another synthetic brush that comes out perfect. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful brush. No more staining on it. Do you have a blush brush that looks like this? It was hot, it was summer, and now it's gross and clumpy? Yes, you do. You do. You know you do. Don't deny it. That same process. It just might take a little bit longer. Ooh. Look at that. That's gross. You might need to give these guys a little bit of scrub like that. You don't want to force stuff up into the furrow. You just want to wash these babies so they're nice and clean. And look at that. Now, I shape mine. I pack them all back together, and then I lay them on my jewelry. Right here I have a jewelry rack that I just lay them sideways across so they can drip down. Works perfectly. They all sit up there and are happy, and there's little spots like for rings and things that I can sort of stick some of them in different directions. Remember, if you're drying them, you want to dry them this direction or this direction. You do not want to dry them this direction. Another gross brush. Gross brush. Dirty. Do not leave your water running while you're washing all your brushes. Bad for the environment. Not good for your water bill. Just don't do it. I remember what this brush looked like apparently, because as I'm washing it, instead of turning white, it's turning pink on the end, which it obviously was. Look at that. It's beautiful. Beautiful brush. Ooh, my buffing brush. I love this brush. I use this brush every day. It doesn't look that bad, does it? Let's find out. I'm only using it for buffing things in with no color powder. How bad could that be? And, ooh, it's soaking up all my suds. That's not good. That means there's bacteria in there. See how it ate all my suds? While it didn't look dirty, it was dirty. Ew! Oh, look at that. Ugh, gross. So I got the outside of it clean, but if you look at the center, it's still pretty dirty. So we're just gonna do that again. But there's still lots of gross stuff in there. It obviously, when I buffed my face, I mean, if you could see the sink right now, you'd be like, girl, that's gross. But you don't notice because it doesn't look dirty and it still felt good. The key to this is when you do this, it should be white and clear. You shouldn't have any funny colored water coming out of it when you rinse it. If you're still getting icky foundation water, your brush is still dirty. These little tiny brushes. How much could possibly be in them, right? And I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this because it's obviously one I did a lot of neutrals with. But yeah, it still had lots of icky in it. Now it's nice and clean. This one's dang near black. Yuck. Ooh, look, it's green again. I mean, look how pretty that is. Next time I do my makeup, I'm gonna have nice, pretty brushes. How nice does that feel, right? You're doing your makeup and your brushes are pretty and soft, and you're like, yes, and that only lasts a couple days. Do not use so much pressure, you're like killing your brush. You just wanna basically, same sensation as if you're doing your blush. I've done quite a few brushes here. Not all my brushes by any means, but I've gotten quite a few of them nice and clean. Actually wash your brushes, you know, do a few every other day or something, as you go. It's much better. If you're like me and they just build up, just, you know, take a few minutes and wash your brushes. Picture of grossness right now. You know, right? Don't put that on your face. That's gonna cause blackheads and breakouts and gross. Don't do it. So I hope you enjoyed my wash your brushes, because it's gross if you don't video. Now, if you've washed your brushes before, what techniques you think work best, and what you think of the nasty bacteria that grow in there. Also, brushes can stop working correctly if they're dirty. I know, crazy, right? You would have never thought. So many things. So yeah, wash your brushes. Simple as that. Talk to you guys later. Bye.